guys? How are you guys doing? I'm just gonna unbuckle. I'm just parked in a parking lot. Have you ever had just one of those days? One of those days you just feel like you need to leave. You need to get out. You need to get away for a little bit. That's been today for me. It wasn't a bad day. It was just a really hard day. And I don't know why. I don't have any reason for why it was a hard day. It just was. I just felt like I was struggling all day long. And I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video, honestly. But I've been meaning to sit down and talk to you guys about like what's been going on and like where I've been and all of the things. And I just haven't done it. Actually, that's not true. I did do it. But I was a rambling mess. I didn't make any sense. I went to edit the video and I was like, this is garbage. I can't post this because it makes no sense. At least not to anyone else. It made sense to me. But because nobody else is in my head, I felt like it wouldn't make sense to anyone else. Anyway. So I've talked before that postpartum depression is a thing for me. I've known it since I had Zoe, since I had my first child. I've known this happens. This is what happens to me when I have a baby. I have postpartum depression. It is what it is. But every time I do that thing where I try to convince myself that I don't actually have it this time. This time's different. I feel great this time. And it's never really true. It's just, it's not the same as before. Does that make sense? I don't know. At any rate, being a mom is hard. Being a mom is the hardest dang job in the world. Being a mom to more than one kid is a really hard job. Being a mom to a lot of kids and having 2 kids with special needs and young children again, it's been a lot for me. And I don't want any of this to come up. Oh man, that's not happening. I just turned the air off because I thought it was too loud, but instantly hot. I don't want any of this to come across as that I'm not grateful or that I wish things were different, because that's not true. I love all of my kids. My kids are my life, you know. Every single one of them, all 6 of them. I couldn't do this life. I wouldn't want to do this life without all of my kids and my awesome husband. But it still is hard. And I'm not alone in that. I know there's other moms that are struggling too, and I feel like so many parents and women especially struggle in silence. They feel ashamed. They're not supposed to feel that way. They're supposed to be able to handle it all. You know, pick up your bag and keep marching. And I think I do. You know, my kids, if you asked my kids how their day today was, they would probably all say they had a good day. And they would probably all say that mommy was in a good mood today and that we had fun. And we did. But my kids don't see the anxiety that happens, you know? Anyway, I'm always hesitant to like share, I don't know. I'm hesitant to share these types of videos because I know like a lot of kids watch my channel. And that's great. Like, I love you guys. I love all of you guys, no matter how old you are. But I just feel like this isn't really kid content. So if you're a child, I don't know. Maybe just go watch one of our daily vlogs and skip this one. So first, before I say anything, I want y'all to know that I am okay. I am working on things. Things are getting better. They are getting better. We're 6 months out of having a baby, and the 6-month mark for me is usually my turning point. It's when things start to feel better. It's when I start to feel a little bit more normal. I'm not there yet, but it's when things start to feel a little bit better. It's when I start sleeping through the night again. The baby's not waking up so much. Your sleep patterns are more on an even keel. You just start to feel better at 6 months, at least for me. Anyway, so when I was a kid, y'all, I had so many issues in terms of like school. I promise I'm bringing it around the park. It's gonna make sense, I promise. So when I was a kid, I had a lot of problems in school, right? Like I had what was categorized as a learning disability growing up. I made good grades. Like it wasn't necessarily about my grades. It was more about my behavior and my lack of attention, my inability to focus on anything, or the opposite, my ability to hyper focus on something to a fault. So as a kid, I was in off and on like special needs classrooms, especially for math, because math required a lot of concentration for me. I always struggled really, really hard in mathematics, always. So I was in a special needs classroom for that. Not special needs, I don't want to say special needs, like I was in a, maybe it was, I don't know, I was in a contained classroom with like 2 or 3 other students who likewise struggled in this subject, I'll just say that. And it was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing because everybody knew that that was not the typical classroom. And I remember walking in there every day and all the kids would make fun of me, and it just made me feel really dumb. It made me feel stupid, and it made me just hate school. I always made decent grades. I never like failed a grade, nothing like that. I never failed a class. I always made it through, but I always had to study a million times harder than my peers. And if I didn't, then I would for sure fail like a test or a quiz or whatever. So I would study for hours and hours and hours and hours, for weeks, for like big tests. And I would maybe pull a high C or low B. And all of my peers would not study at all and get like A's. And I was always so envious. Like, how do you do that? Like, I really am trying. I don't know. Anyway, it's always been a struggle. So as a kid, I was never diagnosed with anything until like the age of 13. And then a doctor, what is this fool doing? I hate it when people just like speed across like crossways in a parking lot just because they assume it's empty and like a dead space. But like it could be super dangerous. I don't like it when people do that. And they just did it. Makes me want to be a Karen and go tell them, don't do that. But I won't. I won't be a Karen. Not today anyway. You never know. Anyway, so see, what was I even talking about? I will say too, I did not take my medication today. Oh God, I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, for Pete's sake. 13 diagnosed. Oh, I was diagnosed at the age of 13 with ADD. There was no like ADHD when I was a kid. It was attention deficit disorder. That's what it was. My mom never medicated me for it. She never put me on Ritalin, which was the drug of choice at the time. She just didn't. She didn't think I needed it. And I don't disagree with that decision. But at the same time, I struggled so hard. And I feel like in some ways I unnecessarily struggled. Because I wasn't even getting like counseling or like treatment. Like I didn't get anything for that struggle. It was just well, buck it up. Work through it, you know. As an adult, the ADD, obviously ADHD, whatever it is, started to get worse. And because I was never like formally, I don't know, because my mom never recognized that I had this as a kid, like it was never brought up after that initial diagnosis, it was just kind of ignored. I just kind of didn't pay attention to the fact that I, even as a grown adult, a full-grown human, I still had ADHD and that it was pretty bad. And I feel like it's gotten worse over the years, and I've mistaken my ADHD symptoms for depression, for anxiety, for all of these things. And the ADHD has, oh gosh, how did my doctor put it? He put it like it's like been a snowball effect. Like the ADHD it's the basis of everything that I have going on, because I can't form my thoughts properly. I can't remember things. All of the things that ADHD causes is a snowball effect to these other symptoms, which is anxiety, depression, all of the things. So I've done, what are these people doing? Anyway, I've done antidepressants in the past. I've done like literally like every antidepressant probably on the market. I've been on at one point or another. They never work for me, like ever. Like I always felt exactly the same, even after the allotted like 8 weeks that you're supposed to give it, exactly the same. And it wasn't ever really like bad depression unless I just had a baby. Then I did have like postpartum depression while my hormones were like getting back in check. I don't know, I've been misdiagnosed, and it's mainly my fault because I never told a doctor that I thought I had ADHD. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, about 2 months ago, I was in the kitchen and all the kids had gone to bed, and I'm just in the kitchen and I'm just not doing well. Like I'm crying, I'm upset, and my husband comes in and he's like, you need to like get some help. Like something's going on. So I started researching, and in my research I came across ADHD in adults. ADHD in adults. Every single thing that was listed on this like symptom list. I'm sorry, I'm looking all over. It makes me nervous to sit in a parking lot, like an empty parking. It's not empty, but it makes me nervous to sit in a parking lot at night. So I'm constantly like, what is happening? Like I have the car doors locked and everything, and I have my phone like right here. Anyway, so all of the symptoms, all of the ADHD symptoms, me, to the extreme. I mean, to the extreme. So I'm just gonna pull this up so that I can read this list that I first looked at. Often makes careless mistakes and lacks attention to details. Why is this lady walking up to me right now? Ma'am, I need you to not. There's no other car over here. Why are you walking over to me? Sweetie, I will literally drive away right now. I will not talk to you. I get nervous, you guys. I feel like someone's gonna like come in and like murder me. I don't like this. Okay, cool. I'm sure she's nice. She's just walking right at me. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's fine. Okay. Anyway, so makes careless mistakes, lacks attention to details. Often has difficulty paying attention to certain tasks, often seems to not listen when spoken to directly. Y'all, someone can be talking to me, and in the middle of what they're saying, I will disassociate and space out. And I'll literally have to be like, what? What? I just literally stopped listening to you as you were talking to me, and as I was making eye contact with you. I just stopped listening. It's embarrassing. Often fails to follow through on instructions, chores, or duties in the workplace. Yes. Often has difficulty organizing tasks and activities. Yes. Avoids, dislikes, or is reluctant to participate in tasks requiring sustained mental effort, like preparing reports, completing forms, or reviewing lengthy papers. To the extreme, yes. Often loses things like tools, wallets, keys, paperwork, eyeglasses, and mobile phones. Now listen, we all lose our car keys sometimes, right? We all misplace our cell phones sometimes, but we don't all do that 10 to 20 times a day like I do. And I'm not exaggerating. I lose my keys constantly. My phone gets lost at least 6 or 7 times a day because I absentmindedly set it down somewhere and have no idea where I put it. All the time. Often forgetful in daily activities such as running errands, returning phone calls, paying bills, and keeping appointments. Now listen, my husband is solely responsible for bill paying. He has to be, because I will forget. Even if it is in my phone and I have an alarm set that I have to pay a bill on a certain day, I'll forget. Or I'll look at my phone and I'll forget. I'm sorry, now see, this is why I need to take my medicine. There's some light in the sky and I'm sure it's just an airplane, but my brain is looking at it and I'm like, what is that? What could that possibly be? Why is it flying so low? Like my brain's thinking of other things as I'm looking at this thing. Y'all. All of these things, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep reading this to you. Often fidgets, taps hands with and feet, or squirms in seats. So I know y'all that have been around for a long time. You see me in every vlog. I'll mess with my hair, or I'll, like, if my shirt is up here, I'm pulling at my shirt. I have a lot of like nervous twitches, a lot of twitches. Always. I'm always fidgeting, I'm always jiggling my legs. Something's always going on with me. Often leaves a seat when remaining seated as expected. So like church. If I'm in church and I have to sit through the church sermon, I will say I have to go to the bathroom or like get a drink of water or go check on like one of the kids in the nursery. I'll do that 3 or 4 times during a church service because I literally cannot make myself sit still that long. It's terrible. Runs or climbs when it is inappropriate or feels restless. This is obviously like in kids. I'm not like running and climbing random things, but in adults it's kind of limited to just a generalized restlessness. Like you just feel like you need to move all the time, even though as an adult you can control that. Often unable to participate in leisure, quiet activities. Yes. So for example, I love fishing, y'all. I love fishing. Like, so much fun to me. Can't do it because I can't sit still that long and I can't be quiet that long. If someone's with me fishing, I'll just talk to them the whole time and I'll scare all the fish away. Oh, talks excessively is the next thing on the list. Yes, talks excessively. Now, I have learned over the years to control that. I will talk incessantly though if someone's in the car with me, and I'll have to kind of mentally reel myself in and be like, okay, Catherine, you need to shut up now because nobody wants to hear you talk for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And you guys, even watching our vlogs, you can probably tell there are long stints in many videos where I'm just talking nonsense. Random things, whatever's popping into my head, doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. Yeah, there's that. Often has difficulty waiting your turn, for example, while waiting in line. Yes, Disney World was a nightmare because of the lines. And we had it really good, you guys. Like, we had that fast pass and everything because we were there with Make-A-Wish, and I still felt agitated at even like small lines. It was terrible. Often interrupts or intrudes others. Yes, I do that. I try not to. I can reel that in when I notice it. So anyway, all of the things. I was telling my doctor about all of this and he's like, Catherine, you have ADHD. And I was like, well, yeah, I know. I was diagnosed when I was like 13, but like I was never medicated. So because I was never medicated, I assumed it probably wasn't a big deal. And then in talking to my husband, he's like, you need to go get on something. Like, you need to go talk to somebody because it's gotten worse. I think the more children I've had, the more responsibilities I've taken on, it's just gotten a lot worse. At any rate, I'm saying all of this to say where I've been the last 6 months. I've been dealing with postpartum depression. Even when I was pregnant, y'all, it was hard. The hardest pregnancy I've ever been through, for sure. So pregnancy was difficult. Labor, delivery, all of the things were difficult. Even though I had a C-section, it was hard. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to tell you guys what's been going on. ADHD at an all-time high, postpartum depression at an all-time high. I was not in a mentally good place. All of my energy, all of my good attitudes, all of my reserved energy, all of my happiness and joy, I gave to my kids and I gave to my family, and I had none left over for myself. And I definitely did not have any left over to try to pour out and pour into other people through YouTube. And I hate that, but it's just where it was. And I had to focus on my family, and I had to focus on my kids, and I had to focus on myself and get myself right. And I finally, and then the COVID stuff happened, right? So then that was like another huge blow when I was already going through it. And I know I'm not alone. I know everyone's going through it right now. But I was finally able to get to my doctor. And I was able to talk to my doctor about a month and a half ago, and I was able to get on the proper medication for what I have. I'm not going to give specifics of like what type of medication I'm on. It's a common ADHD medication. You can probably figure it out. But I'm not going to promote pharmaceuticals on my channel. But sometimes it's okay to accept help. Sometimes it's okay to take medication that you need. And I feel a lot better, and it is helping when I take it. I didn't take it today. And I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't take it. The day just kept going on, and I was like, well, if I take it now, I'm gonna be like wired later, and I'm not gonna, I don't know. I started a diet today too, so I was really nervous that like I wouldn't have enough food on my stomach to take it, and it might make me sick. I don't know. At any rate, that's where we've been. But I'm doing better now. I feel better. It was just a really hard day. Some days suck as a parent. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. I'm sorry this was really long, and I'm sorry this was really rambly, and if you sat through this, bless you. Bless you. But I just wanted to explain to you guys what's been going on. I know I don't have to. I know I don't owe anybody an explanation. I know nobody is making me explain myself, but because we have the platform that we have, I feel like if I'm not sharing what I'm going through, and I'm not sharing that, you know, my mental health hasn't been good lately, and I just haven't been myself, and I haven't been feeling good, if I'm not sharing that, I'm not helping anybody. I'm not helping anybody. I'm not sharing in anyone's struggles. I'm not helping other people feel less alone. Maybe even if just one person, you know, like me telling you guys about my ADHD symptoms and what I've been going through. And some of you guys will probably look at, like, that have been watching a long time, be like, oh my God, yeah, she totally has that. Yeah, I totally do. Anyway. I just want to help people. I just want to share my struggles. If you're going through it too, I don't want you to feel alone. There's so many women that feel alone in what they're going through, and they feel ashamed, and they feel like they're a bad parent because they're feeling this way, and you're not a bad parent. You're amazing, and you're awesome, and you are capable, and there's no shame in needing a little extra help. Go talk to your doctor. Go talk to a counselor. Go talk to a therapist. Whatever you need. don't put it off either. Don't put it off. Do it. If you even think that you have ADHD, anxiety, depression, whatever, any type of mental health disorder, go talk to somebody. Get help. Don't wait. You're worth it. You are so worth it. Your life is worth it, and your life is beautiful, and you don't have to struggle, you know. There is help. And I'm here. I can help you. Just message me. I have my email in my, like the About Me section on my homepage. I get emails every day from you guys, and you guys are amazing. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert, but I'm here if you want to talk. I'll help you however I can. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go before I end up in a slasher movie or something, because I'm sitting in an empty parking lot. That's another, my anxiety does really dumb things. My brain tells me things that are completely irrational, but then my brain also tells me that I'll be the one that it happens to, right? Like, it's not logical that someone would come at me in the parking lot and try to hurt me. My brain tells me, well, you'll be the one, Catherine. You'll be the one it happens to if it's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen to you. Is anyone else? Am I alone? Anyway, have I talked this whole time with a booger in my nose? I really hope not. When I edit this, if there's a booger in my nose, I'm leaving it, because I'm not filming this again. This is literally the third time I've tried to film this, and I still feel like I was a rambling hot mess. Like, I still feel like some of you guys won't follow what I just said. You'll be like, what is she talking about? Like, what is even going on? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna drive a little bit and I'm gonna go back home. Sometimes I need to separate myself from the rest of the family, and it's like 10:30 at night right now, so all of my kids are in bed. But I told my husband, I was like, look, I'm going driving. I'm getting in my car and I'm gonna go driving. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I was like, I've got to film something, and I might get ice cream. Like, I might do that. Even though I started a diet today, I might go get ice cream. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you guys are all doing awesome. Give the video a thumbs up, I guess. I mean, if you watched it, if you made it to the end, congrats. I would give you a trophy or a prize or something if I could. Anyway, love you guys. Don't forget, always live to inspire. Bye, guys.